no more than 16, a gorgeous, beautiful, chocolate face of calm and resolve. "Who are you?" she said, stunned. The beautiful Negro boy smiled, showing a row of sparkling white teeth. "I'm little George," he said. He raised the barrel of his rifle high, and then lowered it towards her face. Merciful gladness followed. When we look at this story, song gets sung, and McBride sets it up. You have Liz, who is escaping from freedom, and there's this scene in which she basically has to kill a dog in order for her to survive. And then she says, "Oh my goodness, now I know that I'm in for it." And then she basically comes across little George, and she saw this face that she said, "Okay, this is community." And will that community get her with a bud in the gun? Later on, little George would come, and he would appear for Liz, and well, he would like to have her way with her. And when she does this, she goes through another dream. And in this dream, she gets this piece of wood, and it would be the wood that would ultimately kill little George. And in doing that, the people around her said, "Oh, that's that one. I told you was something different about this." Because what Liz would find out is that she was at the place of a woman who was a slave catcher, a trader of souls. And she realized that she had been caught. And so the people were waiting around for somebody to come and save them. And it was thought that, here's Liz, here's this one, she's coming, she's going to save them. And guess what? She did. And so when we look at this story about flight, and we look at this story of resistance, we see that she embodies both of them. And then in many ways, in that flight and resistance, we also see vision. Because she had a dream. The book opens up with a dream. And that dream will be carried out in a sequence throughout. And what it is that she's having a relationship simultaneously with the past, her present, and also the future of the group that she's running. When you heard the story of little George, and you heard the story of, or you heard the dream of Liz, what did you think? What came across you? Came across. She remembers this dream is taking place as she is running away from slavery. Yeah.
I thought it was portraying the fact that, okay, the black people that were running were anticipating wonderful systems up north, and it just didn't happen. There was a lot of prejudice up there, and a lot of economic oppression, and therefore they didn't, in her future realization, as a result of the low socioeconomic place they were put, that a lot of people that, African Americans were disillusioned by it, ended up actually betraying probably their good moral roots and getting into gangs and things. I thought it predicted a lot of stuff that's going on now.
Very interesting that you said that, because what happens is at the very end of the first chapter of this piece, after she kills little John, she goes and she has a conversation with a woman who is who's there. We never know her name. She's nameless. We never know her name. And basically, she tells Liz, freedom is not north, south, east, or west. It's not north and south, east and west. And she keeps basically trying to get Liz to know that. And so Liz is basically trying to figure out, what do you mean? What do you mean? She says, it's not north, east, south, or west. So it's this idea of going to a place to find freedom. And that's how we're going to a place. Can you find a place to find this freedom? Any more other reactions? Yes, Ms. Francis.
Did you find it a curiosity that the author juxtapositioned slavery with modern times?
going to come to be a confidant. She thinks that John is going to basically come, we're part of this community, and now we're about to do this. And John is what? He is Patty's. He is Patty's son. Patty, the trader of human souls. Patty is who he sees as to be his mother throughout this book. Patty identifies. And she basically says, you killed, she always referred to George as my little George. And so you have this piece in which, you know, in many ways, how it was little George enslaved, or does that speak to the experience about community and how people can basically connect on different levels, as if Patty and little John did? Because later on, when basically, when Liz would tell George, she'll say, brother, he said, do not call him brother. I am no brother of yours. And so what is that, again, with this piece about slavery, what does it tell us about what type of connections and what type of communities actually were created out of it? I'm going to share this story that Liz uncle told her repeatedly and get some reactions to give you a piece about that. Martha Gooden brought a slave boy home. He taught the boy all he knew, but the boy got smart and slipped off from Martha Gooden and found his mom again. Master Gooden came to the mother and said, I know your boy's hiding around here, and tomorrow I'm gonna come for him. The boy told his mom, don't worry, he ain't gonna ever catch me. The next day, the boy saw Master Gooden coming, and he flipped a somersault and became a rooster. His mother threw him in the chicken pen with the other roosters. Master Gooden became a fox and chased the roosters. The boy flipped a somersault and became a horse. Master Gooden flipped a somersault and became a halter atop a horse. He drove the horse home, but when he stopped to let it drink from a creek, the horse flipped a somersault. Finally, the boy flew up in the air, became a box of mustard seeds, and burst into 100 seeds that covered the ground. Master Gooden jumped up, turned into an old hen with 100 chickens that ate every seed but the last. They dug and dug for that last mustard seed, dug clear through the other side of the earth, looking for that last mustard seed.
Well, I have a different take on it. No matter how many they catch, they're not going to catch them all. There'll always be one that escapes.
You're going to hear some of the reactions of people who knew slavery, people who mobilized against slavery. You're going to hear what their reactions are to some yet some. Again, we have Thaddeus Stevens, we have Francis Harper, Mary Peck Bond, Sarah McKim, and William Cooper.